Awesome. All right, so here we go with a little bit of restorative. Sadly, no hot stones this morning, but bolster, blocks or books, maybe a blanket or a towel if you want to. And of course, I'm sure you've already heard maybe couch cushions, pillows, something. I do want to do a twist, and I do want your legs to be propped up rather than letting the knee twist all the way to the floor. So if you could find something that you'll be able to have your leg lifted up maybe, 6 to 8 inches off the floor before we begin. And then Jay will give me the cue and it's ready to go.
You ready?
Oh, we're ready.
Yeah.
Oh.
The cue. Here comes the cue.
Thank you. All right. Well, so we're going to begin lying down this morning. And I'm going to give you 2 options. I would like you to place, if you have a bolster or you want to use blocks to prop your leg, I'd like you to place them to the right of your mat to begin first, so we can kind of skip that step in the process. And then I'm going to give you the option. We're going to start lying down on our backs. And if you have a blanket or a towel, you can roll it up and kind of place it along the spine. And then depending on how your neck feels, you can take a block or a book and rest it here on the end. Matter of fact, do that anyway. And then, so the other option, if you want to just lie flat on your back, and then just relaxing nice and wide here, just to kind of open up through the chest, let the shoulders have a break. I know sometimes when I sleep, my shoulders get all cranky, and this really helps me in the morning to kind of rest for 5 minutes. So once you get all settled down, take a couple of breaths. You can close your eyes. And then what I would like to start with this morning, it's kind of just a little written word by someone named Gurpreet Gill. And it's called A Different Perspective, because Lord knows right now we are all in kind of a time of upheaval in our lives, which it's hard unless you're already at home to stay home and make your lives as we have been for the last week. It's been very surreal. I've been at home looking out my kitchen window going, man, what a beautiful day. The birds are singing, the sun is out, and all around us this chaos is happening. And the best we can do is come into ourselves and our families and just kind of draw a different perspective and do the best that we can. So while you're resting, I'm just going to read this to you. So please, if you can rest with the arms open wide to kind of open through the chest a little bit more, that would be nice and ideal. If it feels a little bit more comfortable to you to rest a hand on the heart, a hand on the belly, you can do that as well. And I would just ask that you start to connect with your breath. Just try to find that soft movement of the chest rising and the belly rising and falling. And then just allow the breath to kind of deepen and lengthen. And just for a moment, just kind of try to find this little happy space that you have the opportunity to do this. I mean, how awesome is it that we have technology that I get to still connect with you and that the rest of the studio gets to connect with you. You get to be at home, relaxing. Take notice of the ground underneath you and allow yourself to feel that really nourished and supportive space around you. A different perspective. What if this virus is here to help us? To reset, to remember what is truly important. Reconnecting with family and community. Reducing travel so that the environment, the skies, the air, our lungs get a break. Parts of China are seeing blue sky and clouds for the first time in forever, with the factories being shut down. Working from home rather than commuting to work. Less pollution, more personal time. Reconnecting with the family as there is more time at home. And it's an invitation to turn inwards. A deep meditation rather than the usual extroverted going out to self-soothe. To reconnect with self. Ask yourself, what is really important to me? A reset economically? The working poor? The lack of healthcare access for the poor? Maybe the need for paid sick leave? How hard does one need to work to be able to live, to have an outside life of work? To have a life outside of work? And washing our hands. How did that become a new thing that we needed to remember? But yes, we did. The presence of grace for all. There's a shift underway in our society. And what if it is one that is favorable for us? What if this virus is an ally in our evolution? In our remembrance of what it means to be connected, humane, living a simpler life, to be less impactful and more kind to our environment. An offering from my heart this morning, offered as another perspective. Another way of relating to this virus that's unfolding, this evolution. It was time for a change. And we all knew that. What if? Take a few moments. Notice the breath again. Take another deep inhale, letting it find the belly, expanding the chest, full torso breath, deep, deep inhale, and sigh it out. Inhale again, nice and deep, big breath in, and let it go. Begin to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rocking the head gently from side to side. And then nice and slowly go ahead, and if you are on a blanket or a towel, go ahead and roll gently to one side and kind of pull that out of the way. If you have your head resting on a block, you can set that out of the way. And then just draw the knees into the chest. You keep the eyes closed as you find a gentle rock from side to side. Staying with the breath. Maybe the eyes are still closed. And then roll to your right side, staying in a fetal position. So kind of keeping yourself hugged into a nice little kind of little potato bug shape. Rolling to the right side. Taking a breath or two here. And so we're going to move into a little twist here. And so you can kind of, we're going to take our left leg and you're going to rest it on top of blocks or your bolster, whatever you have set up to the right side of you. And then you can take a blanket underneath your head and then slowly, if it feels good in your body, kind of inch the right shoulder a little over to the side. And then you're going to let the left arm kind of unfold open. And then the other arm can kind of rest open. If your upper shoulder is feeling like it's just kind of dangling out in space, you can, if you have your bolster nearby on the opposite side on the left, you can put it underneath the arm, or if you have an extra blanket, really do your best to try to make yourself comfy and kind of build a little nest here. And the bottom leg, the right leg, is going to be extended long on your mat. And then once you get yourself comfortable, I just want you to find your breath. Checking in at the space between the eyes, making sure that the brow is relaxed. And then moving your attention down to the jaw, relaxing the jaw. If you want, you can kind of rock the head gently from side to side here, loosening the neck a little more if that feels good to you. If you have the space and the ability. And then checking in on the shoulders and really noticing and being aware and honest with yourself if the shoulders feel comfortable. And as I mentioned before, if they're not comfortable, if they feel like they're hanging in any way, you can pad underneath the shoulder, or you can just simply rest that open arm on your side body as well. It doesn't have to be open. And then check in on the spine and the low back. And obviously my first advice is if it's painful, please move out. If it's a little uncomfortable, that's okay. See if you can send your breath to that space. Usually takes a few moments for the body to fully relax, especially in a position that it's not used to being in all the time, in a resting position. And then notice if you're holding any tension in your hips. Sometimes when I'm in a twist, I find that I clench through the hips and through the thighs. So if that is happening to you, see if you can relax. And also checking any tension around the knees, down the shins, and then finally into the feet. The feet and the fingers, making sure that they feel nice and relaxed as well. You can always welcome in a little fist or curl the toes for a second, kind of tight, and then relax them. And then just keep breathing. Enjoying this time that you get to hang with yourself without interruptions, without a care except worrying about yourself. Coming back to your breath. If you've got monkey mind happening, you can always bring the attention to the tip of the nose. Focus on the breath and the space and maybe the sensation, the temperature. Feeling the back relax as you exhale. Coming back to the breath. Let your breath start to become a little bit deeper as you start to waken the body up from the shape. So I'd like you to unfold from the shape in the same way, or the opposite way, I guess, that we got into it. So rolling the arm back down, so you kind of fold over the arms together. And then kind of, you can move the block or whatever it is that you have your legs resting on, your leg resting on, and then draw yourself back into a little fetal position. And just take a breath or two here. And then go ahead and roll yourself onto your back. Giving your legs a hug here into the chest. And then let the legs come out long. And then take a big stretch with the arms over the head, stretching out the toes. You can activate the muscles if that feels good. You can find a little rolling in the wrists, maybe the ankles. Just take a big, big breath. And then let everything kind of melt back into the center of the body. And then go ahead and take your props and shift them to the opposite side this time. So once you got your blocks or books or bolster on the opposite side, we're just going to come back into that position where we've got our knees into our chest, relaxing the shoulders, finding a little broadness across the back, and just find a couple of little rolls from side to side. And then you're gonna move into that fetal position. So just roll yourself over to the left this time. And stay in the fetal position for just a couple of breaths here. Just relaxing. And then when you're ready, go ahead and stretch out that bottom leg and prop your right leg on top of your props. And then when you're ready, if it feels good, you can kind of walk that left shoulder over to the left side of the mat a little bit, and then allow the right arm to open. Maybe it's propped up, maybe it's not. And then the left arm to open. And just kind of notice if there's any differences on the side of the body. If you do need a little extra propping, or maybe this time the right shoulder reaches down to the ground and you don't need a prop. But again, number one thing is please make yourself comfortable. You can roll the neck again a little from side to side. And then just kind of hunker in. And again, checking into space between the forehead, or between the eyes. Letting that soften and relax, and let that sensation move all the way down to the jaw, perhaps parting the teeth, letting the tongue relax. And then maybe taking a swallow to bring your attention to the throat. And then again, noticing anything in the shoulders, any unnecessary tightness or tension, making yourself comfortable in that space. Again, you can always draw the hand to the side rather than holding it open. Do what feels best in your body. And just doing a check through the chest and the belly. Feeling the breath. Soft as you inhale and the body expands. And as you exhale, releasing the breath. Checking for any tension in the hips, all the way down the legs to the knees. Calves and the shins, the ankles, and then noticing the fingers and the toes. Again, maybe making a little fist just to draw some attention, curling the toes in, and then fully relaxing the fingers and toes. And then give in to some peace and some silence. Sending your breath to any places that may still hold a little tension. Bringing your thoughts back to your breath, maybe back to the rise and the fall of the chest and the belly. Maybe the sound of the breath helps you rest a little bit more. Finding comfort in this opportunity to really be able to release. Bringing yourself back to your breath. So begin to let the breath deepen. Nice deep inhale, filling the belly and the torso, the belly and the chest. Sigh it out on the exhale. Let's do that again. Big breath in. And release. Go ahead and roll the right arm over to meet the left again. So we're going to start to move back into that fetal position. So bringing the arms together first, and then you can hug the bottom knee back underneath the top knee. And just rest here for a moment. Keeping the eyes closed. And just noticing any sensations in the body. And then when you're ready, we're going to move into a supported child's pose. So you're just going to kind of come onto all fours to begin. And then whatever props you have, pillows or a bolster, blankets, go ahead and kind of pile them up here in front of you. And then if you have an extra blanket, you can always roll it up and put it between the calves and the thighs here. Especially if your bottom doesn't quite reach down to your ankles, that might feel a little bit better. And then just reach the arms out in front of you. And just rest the head down on the bolster, blankets, or pillows. And find a comfortable space for your neck. And if holding the arms out in front doesn't necessarily feel really good, if the shoulders feel a little tense, you can always relax the fingertips towards the toes. And we won't be here for as long as we've held the other shapes. So if you feel a little uncomfortable, of course, no pain, but if you feel a little uncomfortable, just see if you can breathe through that and find a little bit of stillness and relaxation. Let the breath move to the back of the ribs. And see if you can take a few deep breaths as you start to relax down, and notice the back of the shoulders kind of expand out as you inhale. And then come back to neutral as you exhale. Keep coming back to the breath. Feeling the support of the bolster beneath you, of the floor beneath you. And if you feel any tension in your ankles, turn your toes out a little bit and see if that helps relieve the tension. And if that doesn't work, you can try turning the toes in a little bit. Doesn't hurt to experiment. Taking a few more breaths here. You can start to deepen the breath. And then I would love for you to press the palms into the floor and then just gently begin to roll yourself up. You can take a moment to kind of roll the neck some. If you're resting on one side, maybe look to the opposite side. Pardon me. And then I would like for you to grab a blanket or a towel, excuse me, or a block. And so the blanket or the towel you're gonna roll up. We're gonna do a supported bridge here. So a blanket or towel is gonna be kind of underneath your hips. And if you can rest with a flat back, try that. If you need a little bit of support in the back of the head, of course, you're welcome to do that. You can also put blocks or another blanket underneath your ankles if you'd like. If it feels like too much of an intense stretch through the hip flexors and the front of the legs here. And just resting back, allowing the space to find an opening in the front of the hips. And again, you're welcome to bring the hands out to the sides or onto the belly, onto the chest. Closing the eyes and then just letting the breath come. Checking in that, again, the space between the eyes, the brows feel soft and relaxed in this space. You can rock the head again gently from side to side. Relaxing the jaw. Breathing into any tension you might feel in the hip flexors on the upper part of the thighs or into the belly. Checking into any tension in the knees. Coming back to your breath, feeling the rise and the fall of the belly. Letting the breath take your energy towards the ground. Allowing the body to feel heavy as you let any tension or stress or worry move towards the ground. And letting it melt away from the body. Coming back to the breath. So begin to draw a deeper breath into the belly. Let it move into the chest on the next inhale. Letting it fill the entire torso. Start to roll the head gently from side to side. Start to move the fingers and toes if you haven't already. And then drawing the palm or the soles of the feet to the mat, so bending the knees. Just lift the hips up and go ahead and slide the blanket or the block or whatever it is out from underneath your hips. And then go ahead and hug the knees in. And then I would love for you can do a little rock and roll if you want, or you can simply just kind of come up into a seated position. But we're just gonna come on up. Let the soles of the feet kind of reach out in front of us, remove the fleshy parts of the bottom. If you wanna sit up on your blanket or towel. And just for a few moments, we're just gonna kind of drape the upper part of the body over towards the thighs and just allow the head to kind of relax down. And if you need a little extra support, you can always grab a block to rest the forehead on. I would just like you to find this little kind of egg shape here, this little inner tent that you can find just to relax, releasing the shoulders, releasing the front of the hip flexors, which we just stretched out. Relaxing through the neck and just breathe. Few more breaths here. And again, see if you can shift that breath to the back of the body to kind of connect with the back of the rib cage. And as you inhale, see if you can let those shoulders kind of find that space, open up. And really letting the shoulders relax as you sit here for a few moments. And connect with the soles of the feet here too. You can press into the big toe mound, the heel, the pinky toe mound, and then kind of press the tips of the toes into the floor. And then on an inhale, begin to raise the head. And then make your way into the center of the mat. And we're gonna go ahead and relax the back down and find a happy baby for a few moments. And you can just kind of gently rock from side to side, relaxing through the spine. You can maybe even find a little pressure on the soles of the feet, sneak in a little massage the soles of the feet. And then go ahead at your own pace and snuggle in for your final resting pose into Shavasana. So take care to pad behind the shoulders and the neck, bolster or blanket or whatever you like underneath the knees. If you're feeling a little chilly, you can cover up. Just really, really nestle in, making yourself comfortable. And then once you've found this little nest, really noticing again any spots of tension or tenderness, and see if there's anything you can do to help release that. Sending the breath to that space. Maybe now that you're in final resting pose, you can maybe imagine points of light resting on these points of tension. Maybe that point of light starts growing in the heart space, and as you inhale, it begins to grow larger and larger. And it starts to sweep across the chest, all the way into the shoulders, down towards the belly, pulling away any discomfort you might feel emotionally or physically. Breathing in as it gets brighter and brighter and moves up the neck all the way to the top of the head and down the arms, the fingertips, past the belly and the hips and your bottom, all the way down the front and the back of the legs, pulling any tension away, down to the heels, across the top and the bottoms of the feet, and all the way to the tips of the toes. Giving yourself full permission to release and relax and receive. Receiving this awesome gift of being able to just be here now in this present moment, being at peace with your breath and the body.
With each exhale, you feel the body sinking, getting heavier and heavier towards the floor, and Mother Earth that supports you always. Begin to deepen the breath. Begin to find a little movement in the fingers and the toes. And then if you have the room, go ahead and bring the hands up, kind of behind you, above the head, and take a nice deep stretch, rolling through the wrists, and then stretching through the legs, rolling through the ankles. Take a big inhale here, finding a little bit of space between the ribs and the hips. And then go ahead and relax the stretch, rolling to one side for a few moments. Take a breath or two here. And then please make your way into a comfortable seated position.
Draw your hands to your heart space, Anjali Mudra. You can bow the chin towards the fingertips if that feels good, releasing a little bit through the back. And just remembering your body is the place that you get to live from the emotions, from the heart. So please take what you need and leave what you don't, and always, especially now, always be kind. Namaste. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Bye.